What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another CZN or Chaos Zero Nightmare video. And we do have about 5 hours-ish until the game launches, and I just wanted to talk about some stuff that not everyone is aware about that might be important in deciding how you want to reroll, or if you guys even want to reroll at all. Now, I do have some sort of plan or strategy that I did upload before this, but I will have a full reroll guide on my channel a couple hours after the game releases, and we'll just be covering, the best processes and how to do it as quick as you can. But for now, we're going to be talking about some stuff that is, one, coming to the game, and also some things you can expect in the future once you start playing. So the first thing is that they did reach #1 in app downloads. I'm not really too sure where because I didn't really track the app downloads, but because of this, they did say that they are giving us some special gifts, as you see on the right side. Not really too sure what the special gift will actually be. Hopefully it's a lot of summons, but that is what they have planned. On top of that, we do have 300 crystals that we're getting for the pre-launch celebration gift. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty low. So basically for a 10 pull, it's 1600 summons. So this is like not even 2 summons, but I guess we get something. So we do get a pre-launch gift, I guess, but I hope we get more, right? I don't think this is enough, so just getting 1.5 pulls, 2 pulls just seems kind of low for like a pre-launch event. But I'm sure they'll cook up something and give us some more because, it is one of the most awaited gacha games for the year, and I think a lot of people have been waiting for it, and we just saw a gacha game go under, so hopefully they don't do the same thing with this game, right? So yeah, especially in terms of like pull currency, which I won't go into, but if you guys know, you know. But the thing I wanted to talk about mostly today is that there was a live stream in Asia, and obviously most of you guys can't probably read this, so I did pull some black magic and actually translate it through Google. So you can see that it is a permanent rescue, so it's basically a permanent summon. And what it says that, after 70 summons, we will be guaranteed a 5-star, which is pretty, classic in every gacha game. There's a pity system for the most part. And then you'll also see after 300 summons, you can select and acquire permanent 5-star combatants, right? The characters that you can get. Now, it didn't really go into depth about whether it was a one-time thing, and it didn't also even say if the rate-up characters would ever be introduced into this. But what I can assume is that this is going to be only for characters that are in the existing pool in the beginning banner that you get on launch. And I do believe that this will probably be something that happens every 300 pulls. Now, it might just be for the first 300, which would be pretty sus. Honestly, I really hope that they do it for every 300 because 300 pulls is so many. But we'll have to see. But just know that even if you decide to not reroll, this might be a bigger reason not to reroll in general because you'll be able to get the character that you want eventually after 300 summons. And they did say that they would be giving us about 200 summons in the first season, which should be about a month or so. So about like 2 months from now, you will be able to actually claim this as a free-to-play, which is nice. So you do get to get your character that you want if you just wait out. And of course, if you spend and summon even more, you'll get even more characters, right? So stuff like that. This is a pretty big thing. I think they are kind of following the Genshin system a lot, the Hoyo game system. And this is a pretty cool thing because we actually can now, even though there's a 70 summon pity, you can select the one that you want at 300, which is pretty cool. But still a lot of summons. We have to see how the summon currency is, the crystal currency is. This pre-launch celebration gift doesn't really move me at all, but hopefully we do get a lot of summons because, especially in a PvE-centric game like this, if people aren't able to pull for their characters, I know for sure they'll be very, very upset. So yeah, that is coming to the game. This is confirmed on the live stream, so it's pretty big. Now, how does that actually affect your rerolling? So, like I said, I'll have a full rerolling guide later on today, but essentially, going for any of the legendaries, the 5-stars, are pretty good. The god account would be like 2 of them, and if you just get 1, it's probably good enough. But a lot of these characters are usable, and they're all pretty decent. I don't really think there's a bad 5-star in general. I think all of them are at least good. Some standouts would be Kipe from beta. We also have Haru, who's coming out, which I'll talk about in a second. And even something like Orlia, who's a really, really good support that can buff, even your 4-star DPSs and make you go through content pretty easily. So there's a lot of good choices. You don't really have to stress about rerolling too much as of now with what we know. But there is a rate-up banner that I want to talk about as well. So we actually have Haru, this character is releasing. She wasn't in the beta actually, and she will be having a rate up banner on launch. And if you guys want to reroll for her, might be a good idea, because usually the starter banners in this game are going to be, or not just this game, but any gacha game, are going to feature really good characters that will help your progression. And if you like her design, she's really worth going for, honestly. But this character is a character that's coming out. If you're wondering what she actually does and if she's worth going for, well, we can actually look at her profile card, which actually tells us everything. So she is a Justice Striker, so I assume, you know, she's going to be doing a lot of damage. And you're going to see that she has a different system. So essentially, if you guys haven't played the game before, you have to kind of like chain your cards. Not chain your cards, but the way that cards work in this game is if you use them in sync with like your character synergies and stuff like that, you will do even more damage. And that's pretty generalized. But for this character, it will be the same thing. So she has like this anchor shot mechanic, and you can kind of make it stronger by pairing it with anchor point, which will move it to your hand. And it's a lot of other stuff that will go, you know, hand in hand with it. I don't really know because I never tested her out because she's a new character, but you can see that she's going to be a character that is doing damage. You can see that everything that is, you know, pointed out in her description is just saying, you know, more draws, more damage, and more anchor shots and anchor points, which is essentially more damage as well. So this is going to be a damage dealer, which is pretty obvious. And because of that, I assume that she'll be a good damage dealer for progressing. So a lot of people will probably try to reroll for it, right? And this is like what she synergizes with. You can see, you know, these are the characters. Doesn't really matter too much because, you know, you're most likely only rerolling for a legendary, right, or a 5-star character. And if she's worth rerolling for, I'll have to actually just like test her out. I probably will just pull her and test her out right away, like in the first hour of the game's launch. But from what I can say is usually damage dealers get power crept very quickly as opposed to supports. And because she is a damage dealer character, she's not really a character you probably must have unless her numbers are so absurdly broken that she just clears everything, right? And I don't think they would do that because, so a character that actually was like that in the past in the beta was Kipe, and she got nerfed, right? We don't really know to what degree she got nerfed yet, but essentially, I talked about this in my previous video, and I think everyone's talking about her in terms of rerolling. She's just a damage dealer that scales off of defensive stats, so she's like unkillable. She also shields everyone, which is way better than healing in this game because of how like the sanity system works. I forget what the name is of the thing that makes you go crazy, but shielding prevents it, and she does AoE damage, single target damage, and she's like unkillable. And this character got pretty much instantly nuked from the beta. Not nuked, but nerfed, so we don't know if she got really, you know, nerfed really hard or not yet. But yeah, I think because of that, this character probably won't end up being like super OP. So because of this, you know, not really a character you probably have to reroll for. I think, you know, if you just go for whatever one you were looking for initially, you'll probably be fine. And if you end up getting Haru, you know, early on your account, it's a bonus. But for the most part, I think, I don't want to say it's safe to skip her and not reroll for her, but you don't need to feel pressured to because, yeah, she's a damage dealer, right? They can get power crept very quickly in these PvE games. If you guys have played PvE gacha games in the past, you already know. And supports are just way better in these types of games, right? So she might be super broken. We'll have to see. I'll definitely test her out, like I said. But essentially, I just wanted to talk about what is coming to the game right on launch, right? We do have the 2 gifts, I guess, that they're giving out. 300 crystals, haha. They're giving out this, not giving out, but this banner is part of the game where after 300 summons, you get a permanent 5-star, which is basically just like a 300 summon Giga Pity. And then also, we have the new character in Haru coming out, which seems pretty cool, but too soon to say. No one has ever tested out, and no one really knows how much damage she'll do. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. As I said, reroll guide coming out later today. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe to see more CZN content, and I'll see you guys next time.